friends. I'm back here with Andrew Ruffin, Senior Product Manager, Cloud Solutions at AMD. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well, Seth. Thanks for having me.
So what do you do at AMD?
Yeah, so I basically work on all things Azure. So if it's a product or solution that someone can choose or not, my role is to, one, help you understand that it's there, that you have choice, and two, to help customers actually adopt more Azure and more AMD on Azure.
So what's top of mind for you at AMD? Top three things, and then maybe we can dive into each one of them.
Yeah, sure. So I really look at, well, right now at Ignite in particular, we're looking at three things I think of mine. One is just the choices that we have on offer. Azure is by far, in my opinion, the most diverse array of compute that you have, and AMD is a part of a lot of that. Second would be just the efficiency that we're offering that helps translate into end customer savings. And third, just our partnership together around building trusted AI for customers.
So let's unpack, let's dive into choice.
Yeah.
What kind of choice does AMD bring inside of Azure and just in general?
Yeah, so we basically launched our product EPYC in the cloud back in 2017. Azure was the first one actually to even launch it into the cloud. So since 2017, we've gotten from one choice to now over 50 VM families that are available. So anything from your most basic general purpose to very high-end AI servers for inference and training, and also even high-performance computing. So everything in between that you need, we have over 50 different choices. It gets overwhelming sometimes.
It's kind of, I'm an AI guy.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of the choice you bring to AI workloads, for example.
Yeah, for sure. So first, secondary, we launched EPYC in the cloud on Azure. Azure also launched our Instinct GPUs in the cloud for AI. We've had Instinct GPUs for many, many years. They've been part of some of the biggest supercomputers in the world and are in the top 2 currently right now. But we also launched the MI300X VM back in a couple of years ago. It was a leading for value for open source workloads for LLMs at the time. And beyond that, though, we also have a number of choices around just general purpose infrastructure. So you modernize your workload to the latest and greatest. You actually can use spare cycles on those CPUs, for example, to do inference overnight, or things that don't need the highest throughput, or maybe they don't need the lowest latency. You actually can take advantage of that general purpose infrastructure for a really low cost.
So that's cool. So the first thing you said was choice. The second was?
Second was going to be around the efficiency.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the things, and this is an important one, I've heard that some of these things can be not very efficient, and particularly AI workloads. Mm-hmm. How is AMD helping with efficiency? Yeah,
so one aspect, you can throw tons and tons of compute. We've seen a lot of it. I think I heard Satya a few weeks ago in an interview say that, hey, we don't have a problem with getting more chips. We have a problem with getting the power we need to get into the data center. So we're trying to help with that. One, AMD committed back in 2020 to, by 2025 this year, having 35x better efficiency, like energy kind of performance per watt. And we've actually been able to get to 38x already, and we're actually going to build on that. I actually have one of the chips here. This is our 5th gen EPYC here that has up to 192 cores here. Essentially, this plus the next generation Instinct GPU I talked about has helped us get to that 38x efficiency. So what that allows for customers that are choosing to use this kind of infrastructure, which is going to be part of the V7, D series, E series, F series that's in preview now, this actually helps to translate into better performance per dollar, lower costs, and that helps you adopt more cloud, basically.
So what does that look like? What does better performance look like in terms of cost and efficiency?
Yeah, so we think of it in terms of, hey, you have a given amount of work you need to do for your business. So say you're an e-commerce company, and you need to serve up so many hits on your database for, you're coming up on Black Friday, so you have to make sure you're able to hit that peak efficiency. So you plan for that demand. Well, if you actually modernize to the latest AMD options, you actually can use fewer of those resources. So that actually reduces your cost significantly, and it compounds when you think about the actual pricing being lower as well. So that's how we combine that efficiency with the performance to help the end customer get a better deal.
And I love the idea of being able to do more with less, because then when you do hit your peak things, it can scale a little bit more efficiently as well.
Yeah, and we also think about it in this way, is that if you take those savings, you actually can invest in more OpenAI service, or you can do more Microsoft Foundry services.
Yeah.
And we're doing more POCs. You can do some of the great demos that you do. Help pay for those, of course. So yeah, happy to help with that.
So that is amazing. So the last thing you talked about was the infrastructure. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the infrastructure in terms of
Like what is available to people? You talked about you talked about some of the VMs,
Right.
et cetera.
Yep.
But what does that mean for people, like as they're trying to migrate to the cloud and how AMD can help?
Yeah, so just those 50 options, of course. We've got the latest and greatest with the V7s. We've got, those are in preview. We've got lots of great options with the V6s. I think that's where people start. Usually they look at those general purpose options, but then you can actually look forward to more advanced options on like the N series or the H series that we also have been launching generation after generation. I think that's key to say too. We launched this back in 2017. We're now on our 5th generation of basically of products, and so we continuously every other year basically get something out new to the customer.
So we talk about choice, we talk about efficiency, and then now the partnership we want to talk about. Tell us about that.
Yeah, and the kind of the trusted AI aspect of it too. So yeah, I mean, I think a lot about this in terms of, hey, there's this obviously a huge amount of interest in driving more AI services. That requires a ton of data. That requires very, very confidential data, ones that you want to keep private, keep protected, and people need to know that they can trust that they're going to do it on Azure or will they keep it on their own data center. So what we with Azure do together, a couple different things. One, we're big partners in the Confidential Computing Consortium.
Oh, that's
so
right.
We have been offering confidential compute for several generations now. We actually launched together the first AI focused for inference, really focused on kind of voice kind of LLMs. I think you did some of that.
Yeah, real-time API.
That actually has been able to actually protect that data in use while it's being inferenced upon, so that you can actually protect the conversations that are happening. A lot of really good applications in healthcare, for example. We heard a lot about that in the keynote earlier today. So that's one aspect, the confidential computing part of it. Second is just the work we're doing to make sure that the outputs of AI are trustworthy as much as we can. So we're part of the AI Alliance and work as well with NIST on the kind of the AI safety aspects. So we are really committed to the protecting and making sure that AI is trustworthy, protects your privacy, and ideally is as useful as possible. So we're working on that together.
So I love the idea of trust, it's choice, efficiency, and trust. How are your customers benefiting from this?
Yeah, we've got a lot of really interesting, as I mentioned when we started out, like whether you know it or not, you can choose AMD. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes it's just there and you're already using it. So customers are using it day in and day out. We know that, for example, it's powering parts of Microsoft Copilot, as well as part of being AI Foundry with Microsoft Foundry with the MI300X GPUs I talked about before, as well as those CPUs. So it's part of that infrastructure already. It's part of Teams. It's part of we talk quite a bit with the Azure Fabric team. So we know that we're helping to power some of those workloads in the back end that you might not even know about it, and they're able to provide better and better generation over generation services with that.
This is awesome. Do you have any like customer successes that you're like, wow, there's this company that's doing X cool thing or Y cool thing, and it's all built on top of AMD?
Yeah, there's a lot.
No names.
Yeah,
no names.
There's a lot of good ones. Definitely come to our. We got a good breakout on Thursday at 11 a.m. Definitely come check that out, because we have some good customer examples in that front. But I think the ones I'm most excited about are actually a lot of the Microsoft services, for example.
Yeah,
so
Azure
App Service, for example, they just launched their latest PV4, Premium V4. And it has, I think when I looked at the numbers, it was basically 50+% better performance, and with the lower cost, over 100% better perf per dollar. So and they're launching there's been a lot of great new announcements here at Ignite around the building AI apps and agents on top of Azure Apps.
Well, I don't mind us being the customer success for you.
That's a good one.
Thank you so much for that.
Of course.
So future looking, what are we looking forward to with AMD? What you look forward to?
So we're looking forward quite a bit to I told you those V7s are in preview now, so we should see them GA in the future. I can't give the exact time, but stay tuned for that. So we'll talk more about that next. We're also looking forward to quite a bit of the work we're doing on the GPU side. We're going to have some, I can't say exactly the announcements just yet, because they're coming later at Ignite around what we're doing with our GPU infrastructure. And then actually really excited, we had to split forces this week because there's also Supercomputing 2025 happening in St. Louis. But this is the place to be right here at Ignite. But we also have launched some new H-series VMs that are based on custom processors that are really, really great for computational fluid dynamics, things like that help customers build out new products in the physical world.
So this is awesome. Where can people go to find out more?
Yeah, certainly. You can just always go to amd.com. If you're here at Ignite, you can go to our booth. Of course, come visit us there. We've got plenty of great demos and things to show you in person. And if you're online, of course, you can go check out our sponsor page. I think there's going to be a link to it in the video.
Well, this is awesome. Thank you so much for spending some time with us, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for the time, Seth.
And also make sure, because obviously AMD does some awesome stuff. Make sure you check out the link below to learn more about AMD. Thank you so much.
Thank you.